Hello, I'm RetroJules. Well, we've had a little time to get used to update 4.7 now, and I have to say, overall, it's a really good update that's done a lot of good for the game. As this update kind of went live and a few days after, there have been 2,000 more players playing the game. And in update 4.6, where we had more new Merc tanks come in, and all the buffs and nerfs, the players dropped. The sort of general feeling about update 4.6 was, we're going to nerf all of your tech tree tanks, and you guys can enjoy all these crappy mercenary tanks because they're going to be that much better. And that was the general feeling that came from 4.6. But 4.7 was, here's some new Russian tech tree tanks for you to enjoy. And I'm just going to put this out there because it's done a lot of good. There's more people playing. Wargaming, if you're listening, people want real tech tree, history-based tanks. And that's it. And that's why this update has done so well, I reckon. So I'm really pleased to see that. The 8 new Soviet tanks look fantastic. Particularly the 705A, which has caught my eye. Looks a bit of a side-scraping machine. The 7 new mercenary tanks. Where do you start? Well, I still think they look stupid, and I think the more they make, the more stupid they're getting. And apparently 4 of the new mercenary tanks were based on player suggestions. So if you are guilty of making a suggestion, man up, put it in the comments, because you and me, my friend, need to have words. I still think the mercenary tanks look dreadful. But if people want to play them and earn them and have fun with the contracts and perhaps playing tanks that they wouldn't normally, then actually I don't have a problem with that. And I very rarely see a mercenary tank in the game anyway. I do like the dynamic loading screens. It's quite nice to have your ops come up while you're waiting to go into a game, and you can just have a quick look and just see where you are with your ops. I think that's a good idea. I love the 14 new German camo paint options. I think that's an excellent idea. I'm hoping that's going to also be rolled out across the rest of the tanks, because I don't know about you, but if I keep a tank, I buy permanent camo for it, especially at tier 10, because I just like my tanks to look really pretty. And the choice of camos was getting a little bit boring. Now the battle ribbons. See, I have a problem. When I'm playing, I want to be able to just glance up and see what's what. The capping icons, and I've mentioned this before, are a problem for me, because if they're both going, if both teams are capping, I really have to stare at them and work out what's happening. And that's not something you should have to do with the displays on screen. You should just be able to quickly glance at them and know where you're at. I do like the design of the new ribbons. I do like their simplicity, but I think they're too pale, and I don't think the numbers on them stand out enough while you're playing. We've got new sound effects too, and I've got a problem with them, because I kind of like them and I don't. It sounds to me like these new sound effects should be what you hear when you're in first person mode inside the tank. And then in third person mode, when the camera's outside the tank, the sounds should be explosive and dramatic. So I've had some arty shells landing next to me and hardly even heard them. They leave craters in the ground, for God's sake. The explosions should be enormous. The camera should shake. When you fire your 120mm gun, the sound should be deafening. And I just think the balance is wrong. I want my tank, when it fires, to sound like this. And at the moment, it sounds a bit like this. And I also think that some of the sounds, some of the explosions and some of the ricochet sounds have been truncated a bit. They're a bit short. So I think there's a little bit of work to do. I like the sound effects, but they need to be, I think, first person, and then in third person they should be really dramatic and loud. I do also like the post-death camera, if you like. It's probably got a proper name, but you know, when you've died and you want to sort of watch the rest of the game play out, it used to be sort of muted. Not quite black and white, but it was sort of almost sepia, I guess. And now that's full colour, and I like that. And I like that from an aspect that if I have a game and I've died and not made it to the end, which is quite the norm, then I can continue making the video in full colour while the game plays out. So I do like that as well. We also had a map come back. It was a new old map, but Wargaming, good to their word, said that these maps, when they were taken off, would come back. They have. It's taken a long time, but they have come back. But it's always nice in an update when you get a new map to play. But I will say, Wargaming, we have a few cosmetic change mercenary maps, and they're quite good. I do like those, but I think it's time to please give us some completely brand new maps to play with completely different scenery and a fresh look, please. That would be great, but thank you for bringing all the maps back eventually anyway. For me, this is kind of an old school traditional update. We got some new tanks to play, we got a new map, we got some tweaks to the graphics, we got some tweaks to the sound. It's quite an uplifting update for me because it's just Wargaming giving the game attention that it needs. It may not all be in the right direction, but it's attention to the game and they're trying to improve it. Also, it's been pointed out to me, and I never noticed it, but the Polish flag has appeared in the filters, so it seems it's quite possible that the Polish tanks are on their way. I think for a lot of this has given us a sort of renewed hope. I know I'm not alone in not liking the Merc tank thing, and I'm not going to make a big thing of that. But this update proves that it's the real tech tree tanks that people want to play. It's given everybody a bit of enjoyment. Quite a few people have said to me, actually, Retro, I'm coming back to the game because I quite like the way this game is going now, and they've started playing again. I'm really pleased with this update. While it's not perfect, as a whole, it's created a really good feel in the community, and it's got 2,000 more people back playing the game, which I think is amazing. I think for us historical tankers that like the history of the game and what it used to be before mercenaries were introduced, has given us all a new hope. I'd really like to know what you think of the update, what concerns you have, and whether you think this update is generally a step in the right direction. Really look forward to your comments down below. Keep safe, keep tanking, and I'll see you soon.